Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JC Courtside, coming at y'all today on Friday. I remember the day, December 5th. So happy to see all of y'all today. Good morning. I hope everybody enjoyed last night's games of basketball because, my Lord, I was not expecting this. Last night, obviously, it was a Thursday, and it's, football Thursday. Lions got the win. And, NBA, they typically don't put that many games on a Monday, on a Thursday, because they don't want to compete with the NFL. Last night, in my opinion, they competed very, very well. We got some fun games to cover, one including one of the most iconic streaks in NBA history coming to an end after 1,297 games. Another game both of these games that we're going to be discussing today came down to the very last second. So we got some fun stuff to talk about. I had an idea of wanting to predict the All-Stars now that we're a quarter way into the season, but I think I'm going to do that next week once I understand the parameters of voting a little bit more. I know they have like the international players and US born players and whatnot. Stupid, confusing, dumb idea. Adam Silver, fix my NBA. So instead of doing predicting the All-Stars today, we're going to save that for next week. So instead, we're going to end today's podcast with the winners and losers of the week. Now, that could be due to on-game play. That could be off the court. For whatever reason, we're going to be ending this podcast with the winners and losers of the week. But before we get into this, the meat of this episode, be sure, podcast listeners, to leave a 5-star rating and review. And live crew, be sure to drop a like on whatever platform you're watching. Obviously, Twitch, you can't drop likes, so just all you got to do in Twitch is just sit there and look handsome. YouTube, drop likes, subscribe. TikTok, y'all know what to do. Drop likes, follow. Now that we got all of that garbage out of the way, I'd say let's start off by talking about the Los Angeles Lakers last night, in particular, LeBron James' 1,297 game streak of scoring double-digit points has finally come to an end. I almost can't believe that this streak is older than some of you guys watching and listening right now. That is truly how insane this streak is. You want to know how I'll tell you all the fun stuff about this streak ending in just a bit. I want to kind of set the stage for y'all. It was the end of the game. Austin Reeves was carrying the Lakers with Luka Doncic out in Slovenia right now having his second kid. So Austin Reeves decided, let me put the team on my back and drop 44 points. He even had a big bucket late that I thought that the Lakers are calling a timeout, and they said, no, we're just going in, and he's taking them 1-on-5, and he scored at the hoop. And then after that, the Lakers get the ball after a stop. Austin Reeves dribbles out the shot clock. I'm assuming that he's going to shoot. They hard hedge him on a pick and roll at the top of the key. LeBron James catches the ball at the top. He had an open three. He also had 8 points. The score is tied. He had 8 points. He has the opportunity to keep his double-digit streak alive. LeBron takes a dribble, takes another dribble, penetrates, and kicks the ball out into the corner to Rui Hachimura. And what does Rui do? He hits the three and ends the game. So I've been seeing a lot of things about LeBron he's always having to pass the ball at clutch time. Okay, all right. Let me guess, you're a Michael Jordan fan. I'm seeing all on Twitter, look at LeBron always relying on his teammates. Blah, 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 blah. He has the most game winners in NBA history. I don't want to hear it. Okay? LeBron had the chance at continuing the streak that has spanned since January 2007. And he let it end last night because he said at the end of the day, the win is what's most important. And I have a couple more fun ideas, like just these facts for y'all, okay? Now that his streak is over, right? Do you know who now is the leader in the NBA of the longest active streak of double-digit scoring? I'll give y'all like 5 seconds in the live chat to let me know who you think now has the streak, the longest streak of double-digit scoring in the NBA. All it is at least 10 points. I see some Joel Embiids. I see some Cade Cunninghams. I see some Stephen Currys. All wrong. It is Kevin Durant. And this is the most interesting. Pat Connaughton, close. This is the most interesting stat. Kevin Durant has the longest active streak of double-digit scoring. He needs to play 82 games for nearly 12 more seasons just to match LeBron's record. Do you guys understand how truly insane that is? Does anybody understand how truly psychotic that is? Kevin Durant needs to play 82 games for the next 12 years, meaning he cannot miss a single regular season game for the next 12 years. That would put Kevin Durant at 50 years old. He would be 50 just to tie LeBron's record. Do y'all understand how truly insane that is? Austin Reeves said this quote at the end of the game, in the post-game interview, that I think is probably one of the most true quotes that I've ever seen in sports history. And it's something that I have always said. So I'm glad that Austin Reeves shares the same sentiment as me. Austin Reeves said, and I quote, "For other people that have killed him his whole career for making the right play, if LeBron shot that one, they would have said to pass it. If he passed it, they would have said to shoot it. So you tip your hat to the guy who just cares about winning and making a right play. That's what he's done his whole career, and I'm thankful for him." That is what Austin Reeves said. And that couldn't be any more true. That could not be any more true. No matter what LeBron would have done in that moment, people would have come at his throat. Had he shot, people would have clowned him for shooting, for being selfish, and for trying to score and to try to keep that streak alive. If he passed, which he did, they're saying that he's not clutch and he doesn't pass. So no matter what LeBron could have done at this game, at the end of this game, he would have been criticized because it's LeBron James. Because it's LeBron James. Now that the streak is over, I think it's sort of time to like actually understand the magnitude of how great LeBron James truly is, right? The amount of garbage that this guy gets. Now, I'll admit, right now, LeBron James, with how he looks versus how he looked last year, it's depressing. It's definitely depressing. I think he's still getting back into form. I think he's still getting back into shape. So I'm not ready to say he's washed and it's over, right? I think he's just taken a little bit more time to get clicking, to get him ready. And if he's just a third option, averaging like 16 to 20 some points, I think that's more than enough for what the Pistons need out of him. You know, they have Luka Doncic, they have Austin Reeves, who's jumped out of his shell. I think it's amazing. And I don't think LeBron needs to push himself whatsoever. I think he needs to slowly get back into his peak form so that they have him in the playoffs, right? I see a very funny comment in the TikTok, and it's probably the only message I'm going to read from him. It's actually very, very funny. I'm going to read this, and I want you guys to hear it. If LeBron will start comparing himself to Jordan and Kobe, they won't say nothing. Even last year, you can't compare him to Jordan or Kobe. Thank you. You just proved my point right there, Mr. David Mendoza. Nobody cares. We're talking about LeBron James right now. Nobody's talking about Kobe or Michael Jordan. We're talking about LeBron James. Okay. Did I say something about the Pistons? What's wrong? Did I say something about the Pistons? What I say about the Pistons? All right, live crew's coming at me. I have no idea what's happening. Apparently I said something about the Pistons. I am unsure of what I said about the Pistons. But the Pistons are what you said, Pistons instead of Lakers. Oh, well, my fault. Listen, I'm a Pistons fan, bro. They're always on my head. Okay. Like I said, unbelievable finish for LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't want to understate this. Austin Reeves had 44 points. Jake LaRavia with a nice 14 points off the bench. Nick Smith Jr., 12 points. I mean, you're just getting production from guys that you don't think. His assists are up. You know what I'm saying? His assists are up. I completely agree. And, you know, he trusted Rui to hit that shot. And, worst case, right? Worst case, if Rui would have missed that, then he probably would have got his double-digit points in the overtime. You know what I'm saying? I think this is LeBron's best chance now to win a ring in a long, long time. And for once, he doesn't have to be the best player on the floor. So for all of the live comments I see of people saying LeBron is trash, listen, you guys aren't offending me. I like LeBron James. He's not my favorite player of all time. I'm a Pistons fan. But I enjoy the sport of basketball. And I think what I enjoy most is basketball. So if somebody's going to tell me to no longer enjoy basketball, that's just not going to happen. I thoroughly enjoyed watching LeBron make that game-winning pass and hitting Austin Reeves. I think that was a great play. That was obviously the game-winning play. He didn't have a good shooting night. He shot 4 for 17, 0 for 5 from deep, and that's okay. My GOAT, Cade Cunningham, had missed 40 shots in a game this season. So it happens. Even the best of players have bad shooting nights. It just happens. Jalen Brunson just had a stinker the other night too. So anybody like clowning a 41-year-old for efficiency, just know he doesn't know who you are, and he's still walking around with $1 billion, and he's good, man. He's good. On the other side for the Raptors, I didn't think that the Raptors were missing RJ Barrett as much as they are. RJ Barrett, dude, for a guy that they don't run plays for, they actually need him on this team. Scotty Barnes was pretty impressive in the first half. He didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. Scotty Barnes actually didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. I didn't know that RJ Barrett was this important to this team. I knew he was playing very, very well for them. But for a guy that they don't run plays for, and yet he does this well, it's amazing. Not for the Raptors, because they obviously need RJ Barrett. So now you're sort of looking at this team and who's the odd man out? Who are we trading? Nobody wants Emmanuel Quickly, even though he's been playing well as of late. They mainly don't want their contract. Yeah, offensively, they don't run plays for RJ Barrett. Toronto is not on a winning streak, for anybody that just said that. Toronto's on a skid right now. Ever since they lost RJ Barrett, they've lost 3 out of the last 4 games. So they're on a skid. Jakob Poeltl would help out a lot. His issue is his back pain. He's been going through it this season. Yeah, overall, I wasn't impressed with the way that Toronto finished this game out. They brought the game back up. They came back in it, and they just sort of they let it go. They let it go. A couple hiccups here and there defensively. And that was it. They had a great third quarter, but yeah, that was not good. I understand that the Raptors won 9 straight and lost 3 out of the last 4. That's why I just said that they've got on a skid right now. That's how basketball works. They lost RJ Barrett, and now that they are losing these games, it's not looking that good. For the trade RJ Barrett crowd, I think they're getting hushed up real quick because RJ Barrett has been so freaking valuable to this team. For a guy they run 0 plays for, he's been magnificent. And that's something that I love to see because I'm a big RJ Barrett fan. I've always rooted for him. He's averaging 19.5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So it's not like he's moving the ball that much. Emmanuel Quickly is the leading in assists. A guy that I love on Toronto is Jamal Shed. But last night, sort of, he might be one of the key reasons why this game was this close to begin with, but why they also sold it. Jamal Shed was playing a little too over eager in that fourth quarter. He was running up the court, playing hard, but you're giving Austin Reeves an open lane when there's only a couple plays left in the game. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Yeah, Jamal Shedd's been playing really, really well, but last night I think he was trying to do too much. So with that loss, the New York Knicks move back up to the second seed. They are technically tied, but they own the tiebreaker on that. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about the Toronto Raptors. I like the way that they play. I love Toronto as a franchise, but that's my main issue. It's just like know your role and get RJ Barrett back. Jakob Poeltl would have helped them on the glass a lot. But yeah, that's just how it goes. Going back to the Lakers very briefly. Again, this is a team without their guy that's averaging 35 points a game. You know, I mean, plain and simple. Luka Doncic is averaging what 35 points per game, and they didn't have that. And they still managed to win because Austin Reeves, when Luka Doncic is out, is averaging 41 points per game. That's something that should not go unnoticed. LeBron's still exists, but not in the same way anymore. I mean, plain and simple. Listen, I did not think that Austin Reeves was this good going into this season. Color me surprised. Color me a non-ball knower. I did not think, like, please be honest with me, y'all. Austin Reeves has taken a leap, right? Austin Reeves has taken a leap, not just scoring, but IQ-wise, right? This isn't just me noticing. This can't just be me noticing. Because the way Austin Reeves is playing this year, he truly looks like a completely different player. Like, okay, I actually got to look. Last year, he played 73 games. That's great. And he averaged 20 points per game on 37% from three-point shooting, and 46% from the, yeah, I mean, bro, he increased his field goal percentage by 6%. His three-point shooting has stayed the same on more attempts. And I know it's still early in the season, but Austin Reeves is averaging 29 points per game. This is insane. Like, I think he's still up for candidate in the most improved, right? My candidate is my nominee is Jalen Duren for the Detroit Pistons because he's increased his points by 10 points per game. But so has Austin Reeves. Nickeil Alexander-Walker as well. Like, I think he's increased it by 9 points too. I did not know Austin Reeves was this cold, but he really is. Like, no team wants to go up. He's unbelievable. And how old is he? 27. Oh my God. I'm 2 months older than this guy. I'm 2 months older than Austin Reeves. God, what am I doing with my life? But you know, I'd say there's two paths to success in this world, right? It's being in the NBA or having a job where you talk about the NBA. I got the next best thing. Okay. I'll make one last point about this game. One last point. And it's not about LeBron's streak ending. It's not about Austin Reeves. It's not about Luka Doncic. It's about Scottie Barnes. From an outsider, right? From an outsider. Do we have any Toronto fans in the building, in the Twitch stream, YouTube stream, TikTok stream? Do we have any Raptors fans? I would love to hear your guys' opinions on Scottie Barnes as a player. 4 years now into the NBA. If you guys could do me a solid favor, come through to the Twitch stream, put your opinions on him. Actually, I see Chase in the TikTok said, I'm pleased to see his growth. I expected 23 at most. You're talking about Austin Reeves. Yeah, he's averaging 29 this year. You're talking about Austin Reeves. I got you. Well, okay, if y'all can do me a favor, come through to the Twitch stream, because that's the chat that I have the biggest on my screen. The rest of them move too quickly, like TikTok and YouTube. Come through to the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio. I want to hear some more opinions on Scottie Barnes. So if you guys are enjoying the podcast on TikTok or YouTube, I'll assure you the stream's much better over on the Twitch. The link is in my bio, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch, because I'm going to be fully honest on my opinion on Scottie Barnes. Don't throw tomatoes or rocks at me, right? This is from an untrained eye of Scottie Barnes. I was expecting a leap. Me personally, I was expecting a leap. And he hasn't done that yet. I'm not saying he can't do that this year, but I was expecting a leap. I would love to hear this from Toronto fans, because I can't lie and say I've watched every single second of every Toronto game. I was expecting a leap offensively. Defensively, yeah, this kid's a monster. We know that. But I sort of expected Scotty to take that leap offensively. And so far this year, he has not shown me that. So for Raptors fans, I see my man Mo just left the TikTok and came through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out to you. Let me know. I'm curious. Obviously, I'm not gonna lie and say I've been watching every Toronto game. I haven't. So I don't want to pretend to know about what he's done. I don't know if it's a bad take. TikTok, the guy named Lloyd in the TikTok said that was a bad take for me, saying that he hasn't taken a leap offensively. Let's see if that was a bad take or not, chat. I'm very curious. I'm going to just come up to a conclusion by myself. So last year, Scotty Barnes played 65 games. He averaged 19 points. He's averaging 20 points now. So he went up by 1 point. Is that a leap offensively, Lloyd? Let's see. Offensively, rebounding, he's gone up by 0.3. Assists, he's gone up by 0.6. Steals are the same. Blocks up by 0.7. Let's see. Field goal percentage, he has increased by 6.5%. And 3-point percentage. Okay, it's still early in the season, but he's increased by 14%. That's incredible. So if he can keep that 3-point shot consistent, and I mean, he's attempting less this year, to be fair. But yeah, that's still pretty good. Can he be a main guy? Because I think we all know, and I don't want to burst any Toronto Raptors fan base, but Brandon Ingram does not perform in the playoffs. So if Brandon Ingram, I knew you were going to say that. Okay, so Lloyd said that. He said, bad take. Brandon Ingram has the highest usage on the team. Yeah, okay, so you guys are cooked then. You guys aren't going to do anything in the playoffs if Brandon Ingram is your main guy offensively. No, I understand how many shots Brandon Ingram takes. He's an incredible regular season player. But unfortunately, he does not perform in the playoffs, and that has been known for every single year. Has Brandon Ingram won a playoff series? I don't believe so. You said zero ball knowledge. Okay, let's actually look it up. Has Brandon Ingram won a playoff series? Brandon Ingram has averaged 21.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5 assists in 10 games in the playoffs in his career. He's played 10 games. Last year he got swept. He averaged 14 points. So unless you want to go off by data from 4 years ago, let's just look at last year's playoffs. He averaged 14 points per game for the Pelicans. He played OKC, so sample size. So you really don't have information on this guy then. Because if you don't want to count OKC, you can't count the playoff series from 4 years ago either, right? You can't go back 4 years ago, because if you go back 4 years ago, you're also looking at Trae Young being a top 3-point guard in the NBA. Let's see what my man Solo said in the Twitch stream. I feel like when they got all these guys, it was supposed to be Scotty's team after they traded Pascal, but with RJ and Brandon, they just, he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Exactly. I agree. That's why I was confused about what the Raptors would look like this year. I'm staying on this topic way too long, but I was confused because they got so many players in the same position. So many players in the same position with RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes. It's sort of like really clouded in the small forward position. Okay, so TikTok is very upset by me looking at his playoffs. Unfortunately, there's just not much else to look at. He's played 10 games of the playoffs in his entire career. And in his very last playoffs, he shot 34% and 25% from 3. I don't really want to look at a playoff series from 4 years ago. Okay, Quickly's a bigger guard. I don't know why you guys are being so technical in the TikTok. Stop being weird this morning, y'all. So I don't know if you want to count that, because 4 years ago, there was a lot of things happening as well. Ja Morant was elite. Trae Young was elite. And now we're looking at Emmanuel Quickly's only 6'3". Okay, I didn't know that. I thought he was 6'5". And now you're looking at Brandon Ingram from 4 years ago, and you're telling me he averaged 27 points in the playoffs. I just don't really see that. I don't know how you can look at 4 years ago. Things have changed in 4 years, man. Trae Young's gonna get traded. Okay, I guess I'll just ask a question. Is Scotty Barnes a franchise star? Can he be your number one? Can he be your number one? That's my genuine question for anybody watching and listening. Do you guys believe Scotty Barnes can be your number one? In my opinion, no. He can be a number one defensively, sure, but that's not a number one on a team. You guys can let me know. Wow, Emmanuel Quickly is 6'2". We were all wrong. We were all wrong on that. Is Derek Queen the truth? I think Derek Queen has a lot of potential. He's young and can still develop. Okay, I like that answer. Ingram can. Okay, yeah, that's just let's not do that. Does any wait? Does TikTok? No, you said 6'3". Wait, does TikTok genuinely believe that Brandon Ingram is a number one on a team? Wait, do you guys genuinely believe that? Because I gotta like pause what I'm doing right now. We don't actually believe that Brandon Ingram can be a number one on a championship contending team, right? I love Conkinipple. Honestly, I agree, AB. That's what they're telling me though, Daz Gas. That's what TikTok is telling me right now. You guys, not non-Raptors fans, I understand you guys. He would be a good supporting cast player. I fully agree, Mo. No, but maybe number two, if lucky, not a number one. Yeah, he the number one scoring option on this team. That didn't answer my question. Okay, if you guys can't answer my question, yeah, BI is okay. So you're telling me that Brandon Ingram is your number one scoring option. I'm asking you, is Brandon Ingram your number one? Is he the guy that's going to take you to the promised land? You guys amaze me. You guys amaze me. Not once has he shown that in his career. Guys, it's not like he's been in the NBA for a year now. Brandon Ingram has been in the NBA for how long? I actually don't know. I want to say like 9 years. 9 years. Wow, off the dome. Define number one. A number one on a team is a guy that's going to take you to the promised land. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, LeBron James back then, a Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum. Those are number ones. So like I can't call Cade Cunningham a number one yet, right? Even though I love Cade, even though he's my sweet prince, my glorious king, I can't call him a number one yet because he hasn't done it. So you cannot call Brandon Ingram. Yes, you need many options to be a successful team. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brunson hasn't taken him to the finals. I'm not willing to call him a number one yet. I can't call Cade a number one either. Yes, Donovan Mitchell's not a number one yet either. No, you guys are saying number one on a team. I'm saying number one leading their team to the championship. Brunson is not a number one if he has not taken him to the finals yet. You're telling me I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton as far as a number one goes because he actually went to the finals. Jalen Brunson has made it to the conference finals one time. I'd say Anthony Edwards is more of a number one than Jalen Brunson because he's made the conference finals twice. So if Jalen Brunson makes the conference finals twice, there you go. He can be a number one. But at the end of the day, a number one is the person who gets it done. The team has no clear one. Okay, so then they have no chance at going all the way because you can have a good team all around, but every team needs a number one. Jalen Brunson is a top, at worst 10 player in the NBA right now. So like saying that he's the number one, I'm not saying that he's not the best player on that team. What I am saying is that can he be the best player on a championship contending team? That's what a number one has always been considered and looked at. So for everybody that's upset about that opinion, that is a fact. I got a Discord, I got a Twitch stream, you got all of that. Everyone, if you guys disagree with me, I got to move on from this topic. Come through to the Twitch stream. We're going to have some real engaging conversations, all right? Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. In my opinion, Tyrese Halliburton's a 1A. Exactly. You need a 1B for Tyrese Halliburton. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. If you guys are truly upset, I got to move on to our next subject. I've been on this topic for way too long. If you guys want to talk about this more one-on-one, come through to the Twitch stream. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. We're going to move on. Okay? We're going to move on. So if you guys want to talk more about this, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch, come through. Let's move on to another very entertaining game last night with the Golden State Warriors coming back in the fourth quarter, but ultimately coming back in the second half. They were down 20, right? We're moving on from that topic. If you guys want to talk more, come to the Twitch stream and you can spit your opinions there. Your opinions and comments mean way more over on the Twitch stream than they do on TikTok. Okay, I take way more weight into it. Whew, that's where the real ball knowers are at. They're in the purple stream. Link in my bio. The Golden State Warriors fall after coming back down 20. I think they were down more than 20, right? Yeah, 24. They were down 24 and they came back and made it a game. Pat Spencer, the science teacher, came in and was lighting it up. He even celebrated by saying, "I'm him, mother effer." Well, the Warriors had a chance, and well, they turned the ball over after they got that call reversed. And that's what happened. The 76ers got the ball. Tyrese Maxey with 35 points decided to do a step back mid-range. It was a good shot. Good defended. Well defended. And he missed. Airballed, in fact. I'm not sure if he got blocked, but airballed. VJ Edgecombe got the ball and put it back up. Still time on the clock, 0.6 seconds. I think Quentin Post rushed that thing, threw the ball full court. Ball dropped once, and DeAnthony Melton, I believe in his season debut, got blocked by Tyrese Maxey to end the game. I don't think he was going to hit that layup anyways. I think he had way too much momentum going to the basket. But we'll just say that block by Tyrese Maxey was the game-sealing block, the game-winning block. I don't think he was going to hit that layup. I got to be honest. His momentum towards the basket looked way too fast for him to actually hit it. But the 76ers survived. They almost sold yet another game. I will be fully honest here, everybody. Fully honest. This game was a bad watch. And, I'm a Pistons fan, so we've had a lot of bad watches in my day, right? A lot of bad watches in my day. This was a bad watch. This was a very bad watch. And, it happens. That's what basketball is all about. Not every game is going to be a lights out scoring affair. I'll be honest. I don't enjoy watching the 76ers. And I think there's only one team that I enjoy less than the 76ers as far as watching goes on a consistent basis. That's the Sacramento Kings. I hate watching the Sacramento Kings. But the Warriors without Curry has got to be it's one of the ugliest displays of basketball that we can see in the modern day right now. Without Curry, this team is genuinely embarrassing. Oh yeah, the Pelicans last night too. That was horrible. I watched that collapse happen in real time. I mean, dude, I don't know if Maxey and Edgecombe will ever coexist. That's a great point, Mo. I don't know if they will ever coexist. They're doing pretty well right now, but you need one guard that can at least defend a little bit, right? So watching the Warriors last night, the fact that they almost got it done with Pat Spencer on a two-way, mind you, Pat Spencer's on a two-way. He's played almost half the game he's allowed to on a two-way contract. And he poured in 16 points, 5 for 8 shooting. Kuminga, you would think that he'd play more. He didn't touch the court in the fourth quarter. They scored 10 points in the first quarter. Thank you for reminding me. They scored 10 points in the first quarter, man. What more can I say about the Golden State Warriors? They lost Draymond Green at halftime. Jimmy Butler, no Steph Curry. There's not much I can say about this team. It's not looking good. They fall to 11-12, which is what seed right now in the conference? 8th seed. Not bad. I think most Warriors fans would be happy with an 8th seed with all the games that Curry's missed so far this year. Not bad. Now the 76ers, listen, I'll be honest, man. Do we have any 76ers fans? I know one came into the Twitch stream yesterday. I would love to hear from 76ers fans, do y'all think that your team is good? Or what is the overall vibe of the 76ers fan base? Are we still waiting for Joel Embiid to play more than 25 minutes? Are we still waiting for Paul George? What are we doing? What is the vibe in Philly? It's Tyrese Maxey's franchise, right? He's the face of the franchise, right? Are we going to try something? Are we going to try anything? Because right now we have no money. Someone let me know. I think the 76ers are in the second apron already, right? I think at this point, you just need to build a team around. It's so depressing. Yo, chat, can we all just sit and just close your eyes real quick? Everybody close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes right now. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Everybody just close your eyes. I promise. Just 10 seconds. Close your eyes. Please just close your eyes for 10 seconds. Okay. Close. Could you imagine this version of Tyrese Maxey and prime Joel Embiid? All right. You can open your eyes now. I mean, they're championship contenders, right? They're championship contenders, right? Healthy prime Embiid. No doubt, right? Best 1-2 punch in the NBA. Because right now, I say that Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, when they're feeling it, are the best 1-2 punch in the NBA right now. Right now, I'm not saying in the playoffs. Right now, with what they've done in the first 20 games of the season. But prime Joel Embiid with current Tyrese Maxey, I think that's the greatest 1-2 punch since Kobe and Shaq. Genuinely. Could you imagine that? Genuinely, like, best 1-2 punch since Kobe and Shaq, if they were in the prime. Brunson and Cat. Yo, who's that guy? Yo, mods, ban that dude out the TikTok chat, bro. This dude said Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Oh my God. Joel will never be the same, and Paul George just stealing money. That's true. Yeah, man, the 76ers, I can't watch this team and like be happy for them, you know? I can't watch this team and be enthusiastic about it, right? Because if this is the playoffs, right? They'd be in the play-in right now, but let's just say like they win the play-in. Let's say that they make the playoffs, right? Who are the 76ers beating in a 7-game series? Let's see. If they made the playoffs right now from the 7th seed, they would end up versing the Knicks. I mean, I don't know. That's if Tyrese Maxey is still healthy. Yeah, because without Tyrese, I mean, what are they doing? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. 17 Tamp, thank you for the follow on Twitch. He just came in and said they need to trade Embiid. You need to find a team that would want Embiid first and foremost. Shout out to you for coming through to the Twitch. Are you a 76ers fan? I'd love to hear like an opinion of a 76ers fan. Let's I don't know, Chad, do we continue talking about this team? Because like do we talk about the Warriors? Like what team do you think we can talk more about right now? The Warriors or 76ers? Because they're both kind of buns, you know. They're both kind of buns. No, they have no defenders. The 76ers do not play defense. That is not their motif. That is not what they do as a team. Yeah, Embiid is pretty much I wouldn't trade for Embiid. I don't think any team right now in the NBA. You like Philly? Then come and tell me your opinions in the Twitch stream because I'm genuinely curious. It's just so funny to me watching this team with Andre Drummond. With all due respect, Andre's my boy. You know, we hung out way back in the day. But, bro, you're getting cooked off the bounce by Pat Spencer. Andre, need I remind you that you're like 32? He's 32. This dude got yanked off the court because Pat Spencer cooked into the basket. I don't know. 17, I got to be honest. You came into the Twitch and I love your opinion. But the thing is like one more season to develop is not enough because right now, I mean, how long is Embiid's contract? Isn't he owed until like 2028? I'm pretty confident he's owed until 2028. So talk about one more year of development. No, that's not how this works. He's got years on that contract, my boy. That is not how it works. Okay, I can't find the contract right now, but I'm pretty sure he still has years on his contract. Whatever. I'll remember where that goes. Okay. I already talked plenty about Giannis. I already talked about the trade packages. I already talked about all that BS yesterday. You guys should have been here. You guys should have been here at 9 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, I agree. Watching Maxey right now is sort of like watching Iverson on a mediocre team. Yeah, we already talked about the whole Giannis stuff yesterday. We talked about a lot of stuff. I think now is time to move on to our final segment of today's episode. Let's go over the winners and losers of the NBA week, okay? My number one winner of the week is the Dallas Mavericks. Now, remember, this isn't just about winning on the court, which they've been doing. They beat the Clippers, they beat the Nuggets in Denver, and they beat Miami. Those are 2 and 1 quarter good wins. Now, I'll tell you why they're winners. It's not because they actually won these games. It's because who was winning these games for them, not for them, but being a big part as to winning these. And that name is Anthony Davis. Against Jokic, 32 points, 13 rebounds. Against Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware, 17 points, 17 rebounds. Against Ivica Zubac, he didn't play. So in the two games that Anthony Davis has played, he's looked incredible, right? The reason why this is a win is because guess what? It's looking good. They're gonna get him out of Dallas. They're trading Anthony Davis. I don't see any way that they finish the season out with Anthony Davis on their team. I think they should trade Kyrie and Anthony Davis. Call me crazy, but I think you just need to wipe your hands clean of that Luka trade and just move on. You got Ryan Nembhard, who looks incredible. You got, PJ Washington, who's still 27 years old. You got Cooper Flag. I'll be fully honest with everybody. Kyrie Irving tore his ACL. Y'all understand that Kyrie isn't 20 anymore, right? He's going to be 34 years old. 34 coming off of an ACL injury. I'm sorry, but an 18-year-old Cooper Flag and a 34-year-old Kyrie Irving do not match up. They do not align. It's just like Anthony Davis. He's turning 33 off of all these injuries. Get what you can from Kyrie Irving. Get what you can from Anthony Davis. At this point, I'm not being hard on Mavericks. I'm just being honest. Clean your hands. Get rid of the players that you don't need right now. A Klay Thompson, D'Angelo Russell, a Daniel Gafford, an Anthony Davis, a Kyrie Irving. Blow it up and rebuild around your star Cooper Flag. This kid is insane. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just watch Cooper in these last 15 games he's played. Let them suck for a couple years. I don't want them, me personally, I don't want the Mavericks to go on a late run this season. I don't want that to happen. It will be fool's gold. What's the point? What is the genuine point of barely scraping into the play-in? I don't think there is one, other than Cooper getting that experience. But at the end of the day, this is going to be Cooper's franchise until until some shit. You know what I'm saying? I think blow it up. Get a team that fits around Cooper Flag right now. Keep the ball in his hands. I think all you need to do now is get players that align with Cooper Flag's. Bro, this guy was born in 2006. Hold on, y'all. I need you guys to understand. LeBron James' streak, he is only 1 month older than LeBron James' double-digit point streak. Do you guys understand that? He was born in December 2006. LeBron's streak started in January 2007. Cooper Flag is only 1 month older. The last time LeBron James didn't score 10 points was the month that Cooper Flag was born. Just let that sink in. The last time LeBron James has had a single-digit scoring game was the month that Cooper Flag was born. I mean, come on, man. Come on. I see some people saying I'm a year older than Coop. What am I doing with my life? Man, that's how I felt when I started to get older. Genuinely, that's how I felt. Now I'm here with a Cade Cunningham wallpaper on my phone. I'm 27 years old, bro. 27. And I got Cade Cunningham as my lock screen. Okay. That's what I think. I think the Dallas Mavericks are my number one winner of the week because Anthony Davis is looking great. I think it's time. I really, really, really think trade him. Get what you can. Get what you can. Get off of this contract. Get off the injury-prone-esque player. I love Anthony Davis. I love him. I've loved him since he was on the Pels. But I think it's genuinely time. Now is the time to get something out of AD. Because you're going to get players. You're going to get picks, probably. Minimum a first round and a couple second rounders. Minimum for Anthony Davis. That's what you need to do to surround. I think Chicago's going to go for the trade, to be fully transparent with everyone. I think Chicago is going to go for this trade because they need to stay in mediocrity. Otherwise, their whole spiel of selling tickets sort of goes down the drain. The Bulls love staying mediocre. The Bulls are not going to be a championship contending team for the rest of my life. How much is Anthony Davis making? Can somebody look up his contract for me? I'm pretty confident it's like, what, 48 million? Can someone look it up for me? And while you're looking it up, while we're waiting for these numbers, TikTok, make sure you guys do yourself a favor and myself a huge favor. Make sure you guys, in this time, swing on into the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on the Purple app. That's where everyone talks hoop with. Like, that's the most knowledgeable hoops. And if you come into 3 Twitch streams in a row, I gift you a sub so that you get 0 ads watching. You will get 0 ads watching my streams on Twitch if you come into 3 Twitch streams. That's it. So be sure, come through. The link is in my bio. Jay-Z Uncut on the Purple app. He's making 3 years, $175 million. This year, he's making $54 million. Yikes. Solo in the Twitch chat said, I'm telling you, if Giannis tells the front office he's giving them one more chance, Miles is going to end up back home. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I don't think you should give them another chance, though. So that's why the Dallas Mavericks are my #1 winner of the week. We got to move on. I think Anthony Davis is just showing up and showing out, and he's proven his trade value. My next winner of the week is the Boston Celtics for quite literally winning. It's rare when I actually pick a team being my winner of the week for just winning. They've won 3 straight as well, and they won by 45 points against the Washington Wizards yesterday. In my honest opinion, these are big wins. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, they beat the Knicks, and then they crushed the Wizards, so they did what they were supposed to do and more. Jaylen Brown, honestly, I should have just put Jaylen Brown as my winner of the week for the Boston Celtics. You know what? I'm going to change it to Jaylen Brown. Yo, JB, I love it. I love it, man. Keep it up. I genuinely love watching you play basketball, and I think you're proving to me that you can be easily a 1B. Yeah, you guys beat the Pistons as well. I watched it. You guys ended my streak. So through it all, JB, man, so many people had you messed up, bro. So many people didn't believe in you, and I believe in you. Jaylen Brown, honestly, good for you. I think Jaylen Brown, I'm changing it to the Boston Celtics being my winner of the week to Jaylen Brown being the winner of my week. Let me read this comment that I'm very dashing. He just came into the Twitch stream. He left the TikTok and came through to the Twitch stream. And he asked me, why is Jalen Green not on your lock screen? Oh, because I have Cade Cunningham as my lock screen. Well, my star doesn't get traded to a franchise. So I can't relate. So yeah, Jaylen Brown is my winner of the week, my second winner of the week. He's been playing absolutely phenomenal. And I'd love to see it. Jaylen Brown, keep doing what you're doing, bro. You're averaging 29 points per game right now. 3-point percentage can go up, but you are taking a lot of attempts, and he's averaging 50% from the field on the most attempts he's ever taken. Yeah, I'd love to see it. He's doing a very, very, very good job, and I hope to see just nothing but health for him. And that's with Derek White absolutely pooping the bed. Derek White has been horrible this year. Like, Jaylen Brown's virtually been doing it by himself. Let's move on to our final winner of the week, and this is probably the quickest one. The Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, what can I say about this team that hasn't been said already? They got J-Dub back. That's why they're my winner of the week. My final winner of the week. They got J-Dub back. And, well, he hasn't skipped a beat, to be honest. I mean, he's going to take some time. You know, he's averaging 16 points right now on horrible efficiencies, but that's going to go up. He's only played 3 games. They got him back this week, and that's a winner of the week because the best team in the NBA just got their next All-NBA guy. This is a great question from Tamp. Again, I got to shout out everybody that's leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream, like my homie Tamp. He asked a great question here. This is why I appreciate the Twitch chat the most. Do you think that they will break the Warriors record? Part of me wants to say no, because they should not be playing as much as they are. Like, Shea should not be playing as much as he is. It's still way too early, man. They can. Absolutely. They're on pace. But you saw what the Warriors said. You saw what they said. They were trying to go for it, and that evidently caught up to them with injuries and whatnot. I'm really torn. Yeah, Shea has been barely playing fourth quarters. You are right. But I'm very torn. And can I just say, whenever he does play a fourth quarter, he drops like 20 points in it. Just saying. So it's rare when he plays the fourth quarters. But when he does, he just says, all right, bro, let me just get in my bag real quick. Like, I know, people always get at Shea for the foul baiting and the foul merchant and all that stuff. But let's just look at his stats real quick, and let's remove free throws entirely from his stat line. Whoa, he's taking 10 free throws a game. I'm just not going to do that. Never mind. Just not going to do that. Yo, could you imagine Cade Cunningham averages 10 free throws a game? I know. That is why the Thunder are my winner of the week. It's because they got J-Dub back. I don't know if they can get 70 because I'm sort of torn. And they still have the high draft pick because of the Clippers. Yes. Wow. PG's career is going to be one that like we look back at. And PG is sort of like our generation's T-Mac, right? Right? I feel like PG is our generation's T-Mac, except I think the older generation respects T-Mac much more than they respect Paul George. And I think that's because our generation is just otherworldly negative. Oh yeah, I'm taking T-Mac as a player absolutely over Paul George. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you look back career-wise, can you tell me another star in NBA history that sort of gives you the career of Paul George, getting hurt at the end of his career, never really doing anything in the playoffs, being the best player on your team for a lot of years. Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard and Paul George. Yeah, different play styles, but sure. Victor Oladipo. Okay, we're moving on. That's why Oklahoma City Thunder is my third winner of the week. Let's move on to our losers of the week. At number 1, I have the Atlanta Hawks. Now, don't take this one to heart. Not many teams lost this week. Not many teams did a lot of things. What I will say, watching the Atlanta Hawks, I watched all 3 of their games this week, including their win against Philadelphia. Their offense in their last 2 games has looked very stagnant. They're not running as much as they did. And part of the reason being is they need more offense. Jalen Johnson is him. Jalen Johnson's the top 3 candidate right now and most improved this year. Jalen Johnson looks good, man. Jalen Johnson looks very, very good. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was my number 1 who I wanted to get for the Pistons. I really, really, really wanted Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Yeah, Trae Young has been hurt. He's been hurt, and they're playing better ever since he got hurt, so it's tough. I've been talking about trading Trae Young for the last 2 years, and I think now, finally, with them not giving him the extension that he wanted, I think it's going to happen because at the end of the season, he's got a player option. But he wants more money than his player option has. I don't know, man. I'm on team trade Trae. I've been on team trade Trae. I don't see the hype. Can we be so honest, though? Can we be so honest? What does Trae Young need to be surrounded by for him to succeed? I'd like to see what you guys say before I say what I'm going to say, because I want to see if this is like some crazy revelation, right? What does Trae Young need around him for him to be successful? You know what Trae's good at. So tell me what he needs to be successful, because I know what he needs to be successful. Don't tell me a player. Tell me a play style. Where would you see Trae go, though? Let me see what you guys have to say. An elite big man. He's got one. Bigs. He's got plenty. Okay, so now I'm a distributor and defenders. He's got him, Liam. Okay, so you guys just pointed my point. You guys just proved my point exactly, and it's not your guys' fault. Trae Young needs defenders around him. He's got the best perimeter defenders in the NBA right now in Dyson Daniels, in Jalen Johnson, in Risha Shea's defense is incredible as well. It's the one thing. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He's got the best defenders on his team. He's also got some of the best three-point shooters in the NBA on his team. He's also got one of the most athletic big men in Jalen Johnson in the NBA. What more does he need? This is the best team on paper that Trae Young has ever had in his NBA career. This is the best team. They need everyone to be able to defend at such a high level. They have that. They have exactly that. The issue, I'm going to respond to what my homie Mike in the Twitch stream just said. He needs to be a Timberwolf. And I've talked about that trade a lot. I've talked about that, right? I'm not acting like Trae Young is a bad player. But what I am saying is, what does a small guard who is a playmaking first now because his shot has abandoned him for the last year and a half, what does he need that he does not play a lick of defense? They need to hide him. If he's got 4 great defenders along with him in a lineup that shoot, that attack, that also play make. Have you guys seen what Dyson Daniels is doing this year? He's averaging how many assists? 3.5 assists. No, that's his career assists. He's averaging 6 assists. They have playmaking, they have shooting, they have defense. What more does Trae Young need? Bro, Nickeil Alexander-Walker's averaging 20 points per game. Jalen Johnson is averaging 23 points per game. 23 points per game. I got to be honest, man. If Minnesota were to go for Trae Young, who would they have to give up in that sense to match that contract? Rudy Gobert? You trade Rudy Gobert. I'm not a Gobert fan, but if you trade Gobert and acquire a Ja Morant or a Trae Young, you are saying goodbye to your identity of defense and you are fully committing to offense. Because say what you will about Rudy Gobert, he is still a body that alters a lot of shots down in the paint. So I wouldn't do that. Hawks don't want Rudy either. I fully agree. So I don't know. I don't know what you would do. They have a team of great young players, and Trae Young is the odd man out. People tell me that Naz can replace Rudy. I'm going to say this again. Naz does not play good defense. Naz Reid does not play good defense. So again, if you were to trade Rudy Gobert in any system, you are no longer a defensive team. That means what took you to the conference finals for the last 2 years, you're saying bye to that. It's not going to win. And I'm not ready for the Timberwolves to make a move like that. Go look at the plus minus. I'm sick of the Rudy Gobert hate, man. I'm see me and Parlay Quay right now on my Twitch stream are just bouncing off of each other right now. Our brains are colliding because if you trade Rudy Gobert this season, your identity is gone. There is no defense anymore. If you were to have a point guard in Ja Morant or Trae Young, that means you have a lineup of Anthony Edwards who doesn't play defense on every possession. Let's not make this fake spiel that he's the reincarnation of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan played defense every possession. Anthony Edwards takes off almost the entire first half and then starts locking in the fourth quarter if he's not gassed. Okay? Incredible offensive player, but he does not play every possession on defense. No great truly does in today's NBA. Okay? That means you are relying fully on Jaden McDaniels. Julius Randle's not going to play defense. Naz Reid isn't going to play defense. Ja Morant, Trae Young, whoever they get is not going to play defense. And Anthony Edwards is not going to. Jaden McDaniels, as good as he is, cannot defend 5 players on the court. I don't know why we're getting so off topic. The segment was talking about the Atlanta Hawks being the loser of the week. I don't know. I got off topic. That's the beauty of podcasts. You can get off topic and talk hoops. As long as we're still talking hoops. When Rudy Gobert is on the court, I know people love clowning Rudy Gobert. I'm not a fan of him, okay? Go look at the plus minus when Rudy Gobert is off the court. He's undervalued now because he's not winning DPOY. Thank you. His contract is pretty bad in today's modern NBA, but yeah. The Atlanta Hawks are my first loser of the week. Their offense was incredibly stagnant in the last 2 games. Teams are starting to figure out that you just need to pay attention to the homie Jalen Johnson, and it seems to be working right now. So shout out to them. A major shout out as well to Jimmy for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. Jimmy, I appreciate the hell out of you, bro. Thank you. Let's move on to our next loser of the week. And if you guys want to get more involved in these conversations, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. I'd love to see y'all pull up. Our next loser of the week, for the 4th time in a row, are the Chicago Bulls. They have lost 5 straight. They are in contention at bringing Anthony Davis to the team. I just want to show you their losses as well. It's very funny. Jalen Johnson was out their last game, right? And they looked completely lost. I just want to show you guys their recent losses to some of these teams, okay? Just pay attention, please. In this streak, they have lost. Listen, to the Jazz, they gave up 150 points to the Jazz. They lost to the Pelicans. They lost to the Hornets. They lost to the Pacers. They lost to the Magic. That's okay. They lost to the Brooklyn Nets. You can't pay me to be a Chicago Bulls fan, man. And now they're going to save their team from mediocrity by trading for Anthony Davis. You know why? Because their ticket sales, they got to go up somehow. And what better way to do that than to bring the brow to the good old city of Chicago? They're listen, man, they're going to get Anthony Davis. If you see a Bulls fan, hug them. I agree with Devontae in the TikTok stream. I'd love to see you come through to the Twitch stream. The Mavs are going to trade Anthony Davis. The reason why they said we're not going to trade Anthony Davis is so that his trade value stays up. It's a classic book. Classic move in the book. AD is from Chicago. Chicago wants him, and Dallas wants to get whatever they can out of him. Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving do not fit the timeline of their star, Cooper Flag. So I already talked about it. You should have been here at 9 a.m. Eastern if you don't want to miss a segment, or you can go watch on YouTube at Jay-Z Courtside. If you missed these segments, I post them 30 minutes after I end. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So the Chicago Bulls are my second loser of the week. There's not much else that needs to be said. Your star players, is Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey. Let's move on to our final loser of the week. And this one's pretty obvious. This one's off the court more than it is on the court. The Los Angeles Clippers did something that I think will stay with his team for the entire the future of this franchise. It shows you how poorly managed the Clippers are. By then, we already talked about it, so I'm not going to dive too deep, but they cut their face of their franchise, Chris Paul. Sort of scapegoated him into looking like the reason for them to lose. More details came out since we last talked about it. Basically, Chris Paul got cut for being Chris Paul. Now, I'm going to say this again so that we can all understand. Chris Paul got cut for being Chris Paul. If you don't know what I mean by that, the Clippers knew what they were getting from Chris Paul, even at his older age. Chris Paul's a winner, not a winner. Chris Paul wants to win. Chris Paul is a very competitive guy. If he sees something that's not working, he's going to be annoying about it. That's Chris Paul. He's going to get on people's back. He's going to tell people what to do. He's going to tell people this is what we need to do to win. So he requested a meeting with head coach Ty Lue, who I don't like. The only reason he has a job is because of LeBron James. Let's be so real with ourselves. Just like, listen, if we need to do another segment, there's a couple segments I want to do, but a segment that I want to do is the most overrated coaches. And I think Doc Rivers and Ty Lue are like on the top of that list. That 08 ring for Doc is so gassed up. So people could say in the Twitch stream, Burns said biggest ego for someone who can't win a chip. And while I agree with you, that is who Chris Paul is. That is who they knew they were getting. That's who they knew they were getting. They know who Chris Paul is. They know the kind of player and competitor he is. So when you refuse a meeting with Chris Paul and then tell him to go home, that's on you. That's as a franchise. There was something that I saw on Twitter. I want to show you this, okay? So the Spurs, who Chris Paul didn't even play their entire, he played what, a year and a half there? The Spurs gifted him with this award, right? Gifted him with this award. And on this award, it has every single player he's ever threw an assist to. Every single player he's ever assisted in his entire NBA career is on this. The San Antonio Spurs is a model franchise. This is what every franchise aspires to be. They're treating a guy who they rented better than the team that he had an explosion with and made your team freaking relevant. The Los Angeles Clippers did not just cut Chris Paul. I think they shot themselves in the foot for a long, long time. The only way you're going to get another player here is the player who's a semi-star that is not good enough to go to the Los Angeles Lakers. Somebody that just wants to live in Inglewood, California, which is a very dangerous town from what I've heard. And they're not good enough to go on the Lakers. So what's his name? Steve Ballmer, the guy that paid Kawhi Leonard under the table. The only way that he'll be able to get players here is if he overpays the hell out of them. Did I just see a Donald Sterling shout out in 2025? Okay, man. The Los Angeles Clippers are my final loser of the week. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our podcast. That's going to do it for our podcast. I'd like to give a final shout out to the homie Q Mob for dropping a follow on my Twitch stream. Q Mobs came in and said, just delete the Clippers franchise at this point. I'm with you. I'm with you. Move him to Seattle. I'm done. What is this last comment that I'm seeing in the TikTok? Do you think Dante DiVincenzo ever leads a team to the finals? Okay, let's just, like I said, that's going to do it for the week. I'd like to give special shout outs to everybody that's dropping follows on the TikTok as well. The homie Daz Gaz, Bat, and Matthew. I appreciate all of you guys very, very much. Yeah, yeah, wait, hear him out though. Okay. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Twitch chat, stick around. We're not done yet. So Twitch chat, stick around for a few minutes real quick. YouTube, I appreciate everybody. TikTok, I appreciate everybody. Podcast listeners, make sure you leave your 5-star ratings and reviews. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow, do all that jazz, and it would really mean the world. I got nothing left to say, y'all, except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching/listening. I'll see y'all Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern sharp, y'all. Take it easy. All right, TikTok. I'm still recording. Sorry, podcast listeners.